Okay, well, I will be presenting today the final group of the GSIM, the change group. My goal will be to explain in very simple terms what it is, why it matters, and how it works in practice. My hope is that by the end of this presentation, you should have a clear picture of how the change group supports statistical organizations. Let's start. First, we can see the change group as basically about how to describe interactions with the outside world. Every time a statistical office collects data from an external source or delivers results to users, this group is involved. In short, it defines the what, the how, and mainly the with whom of these interactions. The objective of this group is to standardize and formalize these interactions instead of treating each data change as one-off event. GSIM give us a common language that this helps communication inside the office and with the partners, supports reuse of tools, and will make the modernization easier, whether we are working with surveys, administrative data, or in new digital resources. The change group has three main purposes. Model the instruments we use for exchange, things like questionnaires, APIs, or websites. Separate the design from the actual data exchange, which improves reuse and traceability. It captures agreements and rules that govern changes. For example, the conditions under which data can be shared. On the screen, you can see the main players. The information provider who gives the data to an organization, to a statistical organization. The information consumer who receives the outputs. In between, we have agreements, instruments, and the actual information that is being exchanged. This diagram shows that the exchange groups is a bridge between providers and consumers. Some key characteristics of this group is that instruments are both concrete and extensible, like questionnaires or APIs. We clearly separate design, implementation, and the actual data. And the governance is handled through agreements. In version 2 of GSIM, the registers are added to represent stored information that is used in exchanges. Well, let's go inside this group. And the first object describes the providers and consumers. The organizations or people who give or receive data are these objects. Then we have provision agreements that defines the conditions like contracts, website terms of use, API access rules, and so on. These subjects define who is involved in the exchange under what terms. The next set of objects are the instruments. These are the tools for the data exchange. They include the data harvest, which automatically collect information from, for example, through APIs or sensors, data scanners, whatever. The questionnaires, which are structured forms we commonly use on the traditional surveys, and they can be in paper or online. It doesn't matter. It's about the instruments that we have. And in the other side, we have the dissemination instruments, which deliver results, like websites, dashboards, and bulletins. Well, here we have the change specification. It's as the blueprint that defines how an exchange should work, including technical details like which API to use or what data format is required. When the exchange involves a questionnaire, this blueprint uses a questionnaire specification. It provides the complete design for the questionnaire, describing its structure and the way it should flow. The specification of this questionnaire is built from questionnaire components. These are the building blocks. It contains the individual questions, block of questions, and any explanatory statements that together conform the question. And finally, we have the questionnaire logic, which controls the sequence, deciding which questions are shown, under what condition, and in what order. By combining these objects, we ensure that the questionnaires are consistently designed, adaptable to different collection modes, and easy to reuse across the service. Then we have the product. The product is the final package prepared for dissemination. For example, a statistical bulletin, a data set, or an API. The specific format of the product is defined by a presentation. It can be a table, a chart, a downloadable file, or an online graph. The output specification describes how an information set is transformed into a specific presentation. For instance, it decides which variables appears in a bulletin or how an API organizes its results. Finally, the dissemination instrument is the tool that delivers the product to the users. For example, a website, a web service, or an API. Together, these subjects make sure that the statistical outputs are well designed, properly structured, and easy for users to access. Well, you can see that I have used the colors of each group, and these objects that you can see in the screen are those that are very related to the exchange group, because it doesn't exist in isolation. It works with objects from other parts of the GSIM model. The information set is the actual data that is being exchanged. The information structure is the agreed upon format and the organization of the data. A rule is a logical expression that defines behavior, like how data should be validated. and process design is like the overall plan for how a business process like data collection will be performed. So, as I say, the change group doesn't work alone. The business group defines the why and when of our process. The change group provides the what and how, the inputs and outputs that flow between the steps of those business processes. The concepts group defines the meaning of the data, the what we are measuring. The change group makes sure that the data being collected and shared is properly understood and consistently defining according to these concepts. The structures group describes the physical format and the organization of the data. The change group relies on this to ensure that everyone agrees on the format of the information being exchanged. And finally, the base group provides the foundational elements. It gives us the tools to identify and version our objects and to define the roles of the people which is involved. For example, it defines the roles of an information provider and an information consumer. Here is a practical example about how we can make a description of data harvesters into a register. Okay, imagine that we need to get tax from the tax authority. We will first sign a provision agreement with them. Then we will create an exchange specification detailing how we will get the data, perhaps through an API. Then a data harvest instrument runs automatically to collect the data, which becomes an information set. This data is then put into a register where it can be used for further analysis. The information structure ensures that the data is in the right format for our processing tools. So this is how we can use this exchange group to describe concrete cases. Let's see another example. Now on dissemination. Once we have processed our data, it becomes a final information set. We then create a product like the monthly report. An output specification defines what parts of the data go into each presentation, such a table in a report or an API endpoint. A dissemination instrument like the website or an API is used to make this product available to the information consumers under a provision agreement again. Then we have the terms of use for this exchange. So these are concrete examples, and we can see more examples about how to describe the sub-process in the GSVPM. The supporting standards group has created a document which is called Linking GSVPN and GSIM, which contains examples of how to make description of each of the GSVPM sub-process using GSIM objects. So we invite you to review this document. And well, as I'm in the final, I would like to remind that that GSIM handles all these objects that can be used to describe the whole GSBPM process and to ensure consistency and support automation of the whole process, the inputs and outputs that we have, how we make the exchange that must occur to and from the statistical organization. Well, to wrap up, I would like to put these 3 key points about the change group. First, it acts as the plumbing for data coming into and leaving our organization, along with the agreements that govern that flow. Second, its central idea is to separate the design from the tool and the actual data itself. This is what makes it so powerful for reusability and automation. And finally, the objects in the change group must always be aligned with the concept, how it's structures, and when we need it to be effective. Well, thank you. I close my presentation here. So let's go back to Flavio or Chris.
Yeah, thanks very much, Juan. And so that was the final presentation.